And she was just sitting there in her hospital bed, and one tear fell. She said, "I'm scared. I don't want to die." And I said, I know, I'm scared too. Like, I'm scared for you, and I think anyone would be scared. And then she asked me if I knew anyone that was in heaven, and I said, yeah, I know people who have gone to heaven. And she said, "Well, I'm going to go to heaven." And I said, "Yeah, I know you are." And then my name is Rebecca Sperry. I am 37 years old. I am from Manchester, New Hampshire, and my profession is a special educator. My husband actually found a lump in my left breast, and I was in the middle of working on a project locally, a very challenging hiking project where you would hike all the trails in the White Mountains, and I was planning on doing it in a year. At first I was kind of just hoping that it wasn't cancer or wasn't anything, and just tried to ignore it for a few days, and finally decided I couldn't really continue to ignore it, so I went to the doctors, and within a week I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Hiking has always been healing to me in general. It makes me feel empowered as a woman, especially being a solo hiker. I go solo, I'm a day hiker, I don't apologize for who I am or what I do. I feel that it makes me stronger physically, mentally, and I think going through the cancer treatment process, I go to the trails because that's where I go to find my own strength. And I go to the trails to be out there and just be in the woods and be in my own head. I find myself going out there. I think during treatment, it was more of a physical pushing thing, and seeing how far I could push myself through treatment, even though I was anemic and I was exhausted and I didn't feel good. I still would go out there and do it because I wanted to see if I could almost. I think that was the big thing for me, is it was more of a physical pushing than anything during treatment. Monique Bracchio was a student that I had the pleasure of knowing. She was a student that was on my friend's caseload. She was just a normal teenager, and one day came in and told us that she had been diagnosed with cancer. Getting to know Monique through the process of going through cancer treatment, which she was diagnosed with a more aggressive form of cancer that is typically found in teenagers and young adults, called Ewing's sarcoma. At that same time, I was diagnosed with cancer. She was kind of like my partner in this. Monique, she was never someone to complain about the fact that she had to do this. She was never negative about it. She was never sad about the fact that she wasn't able to do so many things that normal teenagers do. She just did it because she didn't want to die. Her goal was not to die. She was willing to do anything to live. And I think that is something that it took so much strength for her to make those decisions and to not be negative about it, because she gave up a lot to live. And then I didn't really get to talk to her too much after that because she was going through, obviously, like really rough stuff. But then the last conversation I had, I was sitting in chemo and I just need to talk to her. You know, before she dies, I want her to know I love her, and I didn't want it to end where I never even got to talk to her again. So these are the last messages that we had between each other. I don't know if I will get to talk to you again, but I want you to know I love you so much, Monique. And when I get to heaven, we will talk about everything. You are amazing, and I couldn't have faced cancer without you at my side. I can't wait to talk to you again in heaven, and you will have to give me a tour of the place. It's okay to be scared, because I would be scared too when I die. But soon you won't be scared, and you'll wonder why you were so afraid to go to heaven in the first place, and you'll be free of pain. I love you so much. And then the last thing that she sent me was, I love you so much. And then that was the last thing. I think that this process has taught me just how strong you are as a human being, more than anything else, not only physically, but mentally. Obviously, I would not want to ever have cancer, but at the same time, cancer has given me so much that it's hard for me to imagine going back to the way my life was before. I almost don't want to. I think the biggest blessing is when you get a diagnosis like this, you see the world differently. And I think anyone who's gone through a diagnosis of cancer can understand what I mean. It's like you almost have like a different way of looking at the world and people and life. It's like facing your death and knowing that you have to go through a lot to live. It's not like going through a near-death experience. I don't think it's almost like more than that. It's almost like you all of a sudden really see everything for how it really is. I think that Monique's story is that kind of, I felt like when she passed, almost like I was taking over for her where she had left off in a way. When she passed away, I felt like I needed to continue the story for her in a way and not like just let her memory fade. Almost like she was passing the torch, passing the pen to me to write the story. It's amazing to me how resilient and how strong and how much we want to live. What you're willing to do in order to live.